A baker's dexterity in cake making and decoration knows no bound, and any children's celebration is an opportunity to spark excitement in these little angels. Bakers create cakes and decoration that depict cartoon characters that children love and admire. It's Baker's World on NTA. I am Funke Oyele. Welcome to the show. On today's episode of Baker's World, our baker will create an amazing children's celebration cake. It will be beautifully decorated for your viewing pleasure. Also, on today's episode, we'll have a guest baker who has been in the business for over 2 decades. She will be sharing her experiences with us and lots more. It's really going to be an insightful package, so don't go anywhere. Our guest baker and our assistant will show us how to make fluffy and tasty chocolate cake. I'm sure you don't want to miss this chance, so sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Well, are you ready?
Sure.
Let's get started.
Thank you. We will be showing you how to make very yummy chocolate cake. And we're going to start by letting you know the ingredients. First, we have our flour here. And for this recipe, we'll be using 240 grams of flour. We're having multiples of 2. So here we have 400 grams. And then we have sugar. We have 2 cups. That's 800 grams. And we have our unsweetened dark cocoa. We have 150 grams here. And here we have our baking powder. We have 12 grams. We have bicarbonate of soda. We have 14 grams. And then we have 1 teaspoon of salt. That's our dry ingredients. So they've all been measured previously. So we have a clean bowl here. We're going to pour in all our dry ingredients. And then with your balloon whisk, you mix everything together. Once you're satisfied this is very well mixed, you set aside and you get another clean bowl for your wet ingredients. You have 4 eggs at room temperature. You whisk your eggs into this bowl. You empty it into the bowl. Thank you. You have your vegetable oil, and then we have our vegetable oil. It goes into the egg, like so. And then you have your milk. Here we have 2 cups of milk. That's 480 mils of milk. It also goes there. You can have all your wet ingredients in the same bowl. We have our hot water. So it goes right into this mixture. And then now you have your vanilla extract. You have 3 teaspoons. Goes right into it as well. And then you whisk everything together like this. And that's it. Now you get your dry ingredients. You now make a well in the center of the bowl and you add your wet ingredients. And then you carefully mix everything together. You don't overwork your batter. This chocolate cake is really very yummy. I bet you want to try your hands on it. Meanwhile, your oven has to be ready. You have to preheat your oven at a mark of 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. So we're carefully going to fill our pans. Now you're not going to fill your pans to the brim, you're just going to do them halfway because it's sure going to rise. Okay. That's our 6 inches by 4. Just exactly what we needed for the pans. So our batter is set to go into the oven. Like I said, the oven is already preheated. It's already at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And you're baking for 25 to 30 minutes. You really have to understand your oven. Yes, some ovens heat more, they get more, hotter than the others.
Well, while our cake is in the oven and baking, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be having a chat with our guest baker.
The taste of your cake is what will keep your customers. Now, the way your cake looks, that is the decorated one, is what will attract your customers. So you have to take everything with every measure of seriousness.
Feikemi Arola Shafe, a native of Ondo State, was born on March 27th to the family of Pa Pius Akimpelumi and Madam Modupe Akimpelumi. Feikemi attended St. Teresa's Primary School from 1975 to 1981. She began her secondary education at Naraguta Grammar School in Jos from 1981 to 1985. After her graduation, she proceeded to the University of Jos, where she majored in zoology. Feikemi's passion for cake making started when she was just a young girl. She nurtured this passion all through her adulthood. Her curiosity pushed her to attend various training to become a professional baker. In her pursuit to become diverse in her creativity, she traveled beyond the shores of Nigeria to further her training. Today, Feikemi has grown her business into a household name in the baking industry. She is married to Mr. Benga Arola Shafe and blessed with 5 children. Join us as we have a chat with the savvy businesswoman Feikemi Arola Shafe.
Our guest today is a vibrant and creative baker who started baking as a hobby. And today, she is the CEO of Sweetheart House of Cakes, Mrs. Feikemi Arola Shafe. Welcome to Baker's World.
Thank you very much.
Now, you've been into cake making since 1992. That's about 27 years now. Tell us, how did it all start?
It started in the secondary school. I just discovered I had this flair for baking, and I always liked to try my hands on things. I think I was adventurous. You know, most times when I ate cakes and all of that, I would like try to see how it was achieved. And that was how I, kept developing my flair for baking. And way back when I got to the university, that was in 1987, I still continued. I was using the local oven as you get your pot and sand and then you bake. I was baking for my friends and I was actually enjoying it. I wasn't baking for the money but for the pleasure. Okay. Until 1992, when I had to bake for a popular music artist, that's Tulampa to be precise. And I took up the challenge and then I was able to, bake the cake, and that was it. I kept on baking birthday cake. So this time around, I had the boldness, after that work, to start charging.
In all those years that you've been baking cake, what was cake making like in those days compared to what it is right now?
Those days, just very few people were into the business, and they weren't like ready to release their trade secrets, in quotes. They were like hoarding, they didn't want people to become like them. So for you to even get information, like maybe you're working on a project and then you needed help, it was almost impossible for you to get help. So you just had to like rely on a few magazines, cake magazines for information. But these days, I tell you, you have access to several trainings, except you don't want to build up yourself.
With your wealth of experience, I know that at one point or the other, those experiences, tell us.
Every part of the house had one baking equipment or the other. So I actually started baking from the house. Of course, that's a little bit of a challenge, because you actually need an outfit, to display your work and all of that. But I was able to conquer the issue of maybe getting customers because of structure and all of that. My work was good, so it was actually advertising. It was a source of advert for me. You understand? The structure would have been a very, very big problem, but thanks goodness, the taste was good.
How have you been able to balance it all together, from family to business and even your social life?
For you to be a successful baker, passion is what will actually push you, because most times you have to work late into the night. And for me, I enjoy working very late at night when everywhere is quiet and all of that. That's when I do my decorations, I get inspirations and all of that. And of course, you have to attend to family. You have to attend to your kids, your husband, you have to, like you said. And so understanding has to come to play here. My husband has been a very great support, and of course my social life, because baking has become part of me, so it's just it keeps me going.
Let's talk about today's cake. You're making a chocolate cake and also an African sunflower ballerina cake. How come those two combinations?
Looking at the ballerina cake, it's actually for kids. And kids love chocolates a lot. They love the chocolate cake. Even adults, they love it so much. It's so yummy and very moist. And that's why we've decided to go for the chocolate cake. Most times when you see kids eating it, you just want to eat it because they are so much in love with it. They want to just finish every bit of it. It's really, really easy to make, except that you have to be very, very careful, not to overwork it. For me, I think it's about the easiest cake, to bake. And, well, I would say it's expensive, but affordable at the same time, yes.
What's your advice for someone that is out there that is thinking of going into this business as you? Like, what should they look out for? What equipment should they start with? And also in terms of funding, what's your advice for them?
For you to be a successful baker, you have to start small. If you can't afford to buy all the equipments we have now, there are some very basic equipments that you need that are really, really affordable. And as you grow in the business, you can begin to buy, the bigger ones, You have to pay attention to details. You don't compromise your standard for anything. You do the right thing, and I tell you, the sky will be your starting point.
All right, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure having this chat with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was our conversation with the CEO of Sweetheart House of Cake, Mrs. Feikemi Arolashafe. Well, our cake should be about ready now, so we'll go to the kitchen and start decorating.
While we're waiting for our cakes to chill a little bit, we're going to work on our fondant. Now, you could either use your icing sugar to roll or the shortening, the white vegetable shortening. We're going to use both. Now, the advantage of the vegetable shortening is because you're working with colored paste. You won't see patches of white icing on your paste. It makes it really shiny, so you don't have to steam at the end of your work surface. The essence is that you don't want your paste to stick on your work surface. Yes, you have your rolling pin, and then you could apply a little icing on it, so you avoid it sticking on. So we have a round cake to cover, so I'm going to try to achieve the round shape. Okay, Ishaya, I need you to get me the 8 inches round cake from the chiller. I think by now it should be all set for covering. So I think I like it. Okay. Thank you. 2 ways you could lift your rolled out fondant just the way you would lift a tiny little baby. You just cuddle your fondant and place nicely on your cake, or you use your rolling pin. You could just lift your fondant halfway, like so, and then you have your cake underneath, and then you just roll over your fondant. And you need your smoothers. These are magical, I tell you. So you just easily lift, and so you now push and be sure you haven't trapped any air bubbles. So with your smoother, you just gently rub. So I'm going to cut out the excess, and I'm going to do that carefully so I don't distort my cake. So now remember, we have this cake on the stacking board, and we had to place it on another board just to help us or aid covering with fondant. Imagine how it went. So same way, I'm going to cut off the excess fondant, and I'm going to be very careful. So the next thing we want to do now is we want to stack these cakes. So that way the real icing would help to stick the stacking board in place. And we want to be sure it's minimum 5 inches. Okay, this is less than that, so we need to stretch a bit. This is just a mixture of CMC and water. So with your brush, you just apply your glue. We're going to stick the print on our fondant. You have to be extremely careful to be sure that see why you have to be sure that you have your correct measurement. Now you need to also cut out your piece of fondant to aid in sticking on this ballerina. So you are applying your royal icing behind. You need to be careful not to allow it go above the bands. So I'm placing it that way. We have our royal icing, golden yellow, the color of her skirt. We have it already in the bag. We're just going to follow the pattern on her skirt, and we'll pipe on the pattern.
Wow, 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 wow. Oh, this is really beautiful. I love this. Well done. Good job, good job. Well, all of this is not complete yet until I have a taste of it. So, can you cut me a slice?
Oh, sure.
Really good. You know, I can really feel the taste of the cocoa there.
Thank you.
Well done, well done.
Thank you.
Well, we've come to the end of the show. If you really desire a chocolate cake like this, all you need to do is follow all the recipe and the procedure demonstrated by our guest baker. We would like you to follow us on all our social media platforms. We will love your comments, likes, and feedbacks. You can reach us on all our social media platforms rolling across the screen right now. Well, until next week, when we come your way again, it's same station, same time. I am Funke Oyele. Bye for now.